what you guys did. So there we go. We're recording. And oh, sorry, you need to take your thing off. I can trim it later.
No, I don't care.
Okay, that's that. Okay, now I just need to share my screen. And I don't know how well the screen will be today, so we'll do my best. Okay. Why doesn't it like here? Hold on. Why don't you like me? Should be ready to share. Cancel. Let me try it one more time. Share screen. I guess let's try it this way. Usually do it. Okay, so like I said, can everybody see the slides aren't going to be so great tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, remarkable.
Okay. Let me okay. So I will until I just messed it up. There you go. We're just there we go. Okay. I'm just seeing how big I can get it before I make you guys sick to your stomach. Sorry. My mouse pad is just like really I usually have this computer in a docking station, so it's just it doesn't like it when I do this. Okay, so I have 2 chapters tonight. We'll see what we get going. And my computer time is way off. So if someone wants to give me a reminder when we get like 15 minutes before the hour, and then I can analyze where we're at. Not that that's a word, but okay. So tzedakah. So we see the picture. We have tzedakah with the point. And now you are, did Mickey make it in? Is that her? Okay, admit. There we go. Hold on. I got to readmit her. Okay, now let's go back. Hopefully she made it in. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so okay, so we have tzedakah. Okay, so if she made it in, let me go bigger now. Okay, so tzedakah, we have the sadi with the shava and the da and the ka sound, and that's how we get our tzedakah. So when we talk about giving charity, it actually really, tzedakah really means justice, and we also know it as charity as well. And so our new letters today are, does anybody want to tell me what these 2 new letters are that we're working on today? Anyone recognize this one?
Cough.
Cough.
Yep. And what's the next one?
Tzaddik.
Sadi, right, exactly. So we have
I say it the old way, tzaddik.
You do. In fact, I was working on some Devar Torah today, and you say it like the Rebbe's from New York. They have a very K at the end. Okay, so now we know, as you know, our pile of letters that we know is getting bigger and bigger. So we now are getting to the point where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We now know more letters of the Hebrew alphabet than not. So we've already passed over into the we know more. And we are about to halfway through our vowels too. So our first letter is, let's do this together. What is our first letter that we know so far?
Bet.
Bet, right. And the next 2 are what?
Tav.
Tav, that's right. And then we have what here?
Shin.
Shin. Okay, someone else want to hit the next one?
Mem.
Yep. And then what do we have next?
Lamed.
Lamed. And then this one?
Be.
This one is hard for you to see only because of my screen. Now, without making you sick to your stomach, now take a look at it and see if you can tell the difference.
Yeah. Looks like a cough.
Yes, exactly. And so again, the one thing that you do want to look at, and this is going to be important whether you're reading a siddur, an old or a new one, or a prayer, to really make sure that when you look at this bet, the only difference really that you can notice offhand between the bet and the kaf, these are look-alike letters, is the fact that on this bet, it is a hard, flat surface. Bet, think of your house as standing on a foundation or a frame. And so your bet really has a flat frame, and the foundation, or think of it, the concrete slab kind of stands firm, and the house is built on top. Whereas cuff is basically round. It kind of just, if you make a hand with your C, you can't really make a flat, hard C. It has to make that round. And so that's where you're going to look when you get to this letter. That's how you're going to be able to tell, because sometimes even in the Torah, if the shofar didn't have a good day that day, that letter is not so easy to distinguish sometimes. Okay, and what's the next letter?
A.
Hey, absolutely.
Rush.
Rush. Tov meod. Okay, keep going.
Huff.
Huff.
Oh, perfect.
That's the one we
Vet.
just said.
Bet.
Vet.
Bet, exactly, because there's no dot in it, or you just know from the word that that's a kaf. Because remember, in the Torah, we'll never see a dot. And down here, if you can read the last three down here.
Dalet.
Solid.
Yep.
Olive.
Olive.
And
Vav.
Vav. Exactly. Dalet, Olive, and Vav. Okay. Now we know four. We know more than four, but we have really worked with four of our primary vowels. And remember, we are learning the letters by frequency. So the letters that we've learned, you should know bet and tav and shin and mem really well, and lamed really well, because there's more bets in the Hebrew are used in the Torah than anywhere else. There's more tavs used than any other letter. Sorry. So the same thing with the vowels. So does anyone know what the name and the sound of that first vowel is?
Sir.
Patak.
The first one is
Oh.
patak. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I see dots.
Yes. Sorry.
That's probably my eyes.
Yeah. So that's a patak. And just remember, your mouth makes the same ah sound, just like the line. And then the one next to it is
Motz.
kamatz. And that is how would you describe that sound, Ted? Yeah, it's a longer ah. And again, you can see your uvula in the back of your throat if you do a really big one. Okay. Can someone else tell me what now Donald's seeing the dots? Here we go. Can someone tell me what the first set of dots is? What?
Yeah.
Shiva.
Perfect. And Shiva has two issues. It's one thing and it's another thing. Does anyone remember the two things it does?
Syllable breaker.
Correct.
Or E.
Or E. Absolutely. Okay. And then this is our first modified A vowel. And does anyone remember what this last one is called?
Patak.
Still there.
Patak.
Yeah, hataf patak. And anytime you see the shava with a vowel, it is a half. It's cut off half. So it's a half of an A. So if patak is patak and this is half of a patak, what does that mean that we would do when we get to there?
Shorter.
Exactly. They're all shorter. Okay. So
But what's that called again? What's that last one called again?
it's called hataf patak.
Like half patach.
Correct.
Hataf. Okay. I never could understand what anybody was saying, and I never remember these.
Yeah, sorry guys. Like I said, I am using my screen here.
Can I interrupt and ask a question? It may be silly. It's probably dated, but if you look at the word justice in Hebrew, tzedakah,
Yep.
and way back in the dawn of civilization or the dawn of rock and roll, there was a singer called Neil Sedaka.
Oh, yeah. That is true. That is true. I wonder if we would have spelled his name that way in Hebrew.
I don't know.
Yeah, that is funny. I'd have to look that up. Oh no, it was an S. S-E-D-A-K. I think it was an S.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
they-
But that doesn't mean when his prior relatives came over, he could have said Sadaka. They could have said it, and that they spelled it with an S.
absolutely,
No.
that's true. Okay, so all together, everybody with me, we're gonna try these coughs quick. Okay, so line 1, we have ready, ka,
Ka,
k,
uh,
k,
Ka,
uh,
ka,
ka.
ka.
Okay, line 2. So we have all together, we have ka,
Ka,
ra,
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 okay, and then we have ka,
ka,
yeah, and then we have ka,
ka.
and why is the my screen has a dot in it. Sorry, in the wrong spot. I have dust on my screen. So we have ka, and then we have, what is the last one?
Va.
Va. Yes, it's a va.
Now wait a minute. What did you say the one before was? I thought that you said ka, and I say ka.
Okay, so that is your cough. So that is a like when we say our challah, you're right. It's more of a throaty, voicey. And for the sake of my throat, having done so much tests, I kind of just did a ka. So
Okay.
but yes, you are absolutely correct. It's the hulla sound, the guttural hulla sound. That C, or that, as we say, hulla ch, that sound together. So that's absolutely 100% correct. So okay, I'm gonna have you guys read line 3 together. Okay. So
Okay.
Ka,
ka,
Yep.
ka,
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 Yeah.
ka,
I know.
ha,
ha,
and
Yeah, and ha and ah. So ha and ah. Okay. Now, line 4, everybody take one of the words. So someone start and then we'll keep going.
kav,
ka, car,
Yep.
car,
Car's the first one. Yep. The second one on line
Wait a
4.
minute. What's the first one?
car,
no, it's kav.
It's car. It looks like cov to me.
Oh, hold on. It is a vibe. You're right.
yeah.
Sorry.
yeah, sorry. Yep,
I
No,
don't.
I don't care, but I just wanted to make sure I knew what I was looking at.
You're right. Now try word 2.
Rock,
Yeah. Rach.
and car, car,
hara,
hara,
Kara. Correct. Kara. Because we have the ah at the end of the resh. So perfect. Okay.
Bach,
Bach. Okay, now I want to have you look at the second word part and the fourth word part on line 4. And I want you to notice the shava, okay? And how you know that is a word part, it's because you will never see a shava at the end of the word ever. And maybe in some obscure text, I've never seen it. I've never been taught it. I've never heard of it. So this is how you know that it is a word fragment, because in this case, the rach, right here, the second one, the rach, and the bach, okay, that would be the shava that says, hey, whatever comes next would be the next word, the next syllable in the word, okay? So that's just, I wanted to point that out. So if you ever see someone throw this at you and you can be like, dude, that's not a full word. That's not, where's the rest of it? Okay. So the Shabbat either has to be in the very beginning or in the very middle. Now I'm going to try to go down a little. Oop, nope, my computer won't let me go down that far. Okay. There. Okay. Line 5. Someone start on line 5.
rock,
Okay, so I didn't quite hear it.
karak,
Ka is our first sound right here, and Rav is our second. So ka Rav, right?
ah,
Okay.
yes,
Let's try the second one.
Rakov,
Okay,
Rakad,
yes, Rakad, exactly. And how did you know to split those phrases that way? How did you know? Does anyone have an idea, or it just sounded right?
Well, there are two vowels, and then there's a letter without a vowel. So it'd be the final racha.
Okay, so yeah, and so this one is a little bit more challenging. When you think of it, this is how you kind of know that it's probably going to be a fragment too, because you have ra, kad. Okay, so rachad. So you have your two syllables. You're right, and your word has to end with a consonant, vowel, consonant, right? So yes, so you're looking for those consonant, vowel, consonants. Okay, so how about the fourth one here?
Raka.
Daka.
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 Daka, exactly. So tov meod, which means very good. Okay, and the last one,
Shaka.
sha. Oh, look at the last
Oh,
letter.
shakal. Shakal.
Shakal, exactly. So it kind of sounds like another word that maybe someone's heard of before. Shakal kind of sounds like what word? Does anyone know?
Shekel.
Yeah, kind of sounds like shekel. So, and I think that's kind of what they were getting at. Okay. And then, of course, at the very end here, you see again. Let's look at tzedakah again. So we've got we've got the sadi with the shiva. So that's why we know we have our tsa, right? So that really stands out. And then it also emphasizes that first letter tsa, and then we have da, and then kuf, aleph, hey finishes it up. So we have how many syllables in the word sadacha?
3.
3. Absolutely. Tov meod. Perfect. Or that means very good. So mush means perfect. So, okay. So let me go to the next one. And I have to find, where's the one with the pictures right here? Or at the top here. This is this one. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's try to get it bigger again. Okay. Okay. So someone read the first line for me.
Sa.
Mhm.
Sa. Sa. Sa.
Yeah, it's
Sa and za.
okay.
Go.
So it's basically a versions of A's, a little E, and a clear t, right? So you got it. Someone read line 2 for me.
Ka. Za. Ka. Mhm. Or ka.
Yeah.
Sa. La. Or l.
Little, yep. So they're all going to be little E's. So ka, tsa, ka, ka, if I could do that, ka, tsra, and lo. They're all quick little E's. So, and I was talking about this with the younger Hebrew school kids this weekend, the ones who are doing their bat mitzvah, because we were talking about the prayers and how when we say a prayer, things sound. And just remember that, like all English, in fact, no one knows when I say the word bag, I'm saying BAG. And I guess it sounds like beg, BEG. So there's some fluidity on how much E we put in words and how much A we put in words. So let's go to line 3. Someone read line 3.
Sa. Tsu. Ka. K. K. D.
So, yeah, ka, k, h, and d. So if we did it right, it'd be more the throat, Linda. You got it perfect. Okay. Okay. And I don't know, Nikki, can you read or not?
I can try.
There,
Zara, Ratsa, Nekha. Is that it? I don't know. Is that a va? What
it is
the?
ka.
Yeah,
It is-
Vaka. Bach.
Okay. There's only, yep, that's great, but there's only one that we need to fix. Look at the line again and see if there's one that maybe we need to fix. I'll give you a hint. Look at the first one again and say the first one again.
Tsar.
Yeah.
Tsar. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, because remember, we know
Right.
we're dealing with a word fragment because what can never be at the very end of a word?
A vowel.
A shava. Well, no, vowels can be at the end, like ratsa, right? You actually are going to see ratsa sometimes in the Torah, but you're never going to see a shava at the very end of a word. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So someone read the first word. You can each pick one word out here. All right.
Kashar.
Perfect. Okay.
Patsar.
Yeah. Told me out. Okay.
Batsad.
Great. Okay.
Ratsat. Rat. It's Rasata.
Yes. Okay. So this is that syllable breaker thing. So we know that this all is going to be the first syllable. So we have exactly how you did it. Rats ta. Right? So everyone say that together. Ready? Rats.
Rats.
Ratsta.
Okay. Now, if I was doing this better tonight, the hard challenge in this word is that we're going to put probably one of the accents right here. Rats ta. So because the shava in the middle of the word, you're going to accent it with your voice to say, listen, this is the first syllable. Now I'm coming to the second syllable. And that's quite a mouthful, isn't it? That word is quite a mouthful. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, let's see if I can get this to go up. Okay, here we go. Here is this first word. Someone try this first word. Well, the first two words, I mean.
Barlat.
No, take a look again.
Chala. Chala.
Kala.
Kala.
Kala. Yep.
We on the second word now?
Yes.
Ushabat.
Shaba.
Ve Shabbat, right?
Oh yeah.
Ve Shabbat. Okay, so does anyone remember what these words mean?
Shabbat bride.
Yeah, so but it's bride, and then we have a ve, okay? And a ve always means, did I say what here? In fact, let me go down a little bit. You can cheat a little bit. Okay, so
Does it
when
mean of?
it means and.
And. Okay.
So they is and. Okay. And the funny thing is, this book says in modern Hebrew, a vav at the beginning of the word means and. Okay. So my thing is, it's kind of funny that they say in modern Hebrew, because in most Hebrew, a ve at the beginning means and. It can mean a couple different things. Like how we can say, and this happened, or in addition, like when you translate, you can do things to change up the word and, but it all means it's connected. So technically you could go and. And so I am not aware of any situation that and would not work. May there be a better one, because saying and this and that and that and that would be kind of silly to read. Yes. But basically it's saying the bride and Shabbat. And that and is a connector. So it's using it not so much in the word and, it's using it as the connector between bride and Shabbat. So yes, that's the bride of Shabbat. Okay, can someone read the second word?
Matzah.
Matzah. And do we remember what matzah is?
Yeah, it's flour.
Exactly. Matzah is the wafer things that we eat at Passover, right? So there we go. Okay,
The
now
one my husband can't stand and refuses to eat.
there you go. Exactly. Okay, now how about the next phrase? So someone try to tackle both these words together.
Rock Havdalah.
Okay, so it's right. So we have Rach Havdalah. Okay, and sorry. Okay. Okay. And how about the next one right here?
Havdalah Shabbat.
Yes, Havdalah ve Shabbat. So Havdalah and Shabbat. Exactly. And how about the last one?
Rock,
Okay.
say Daka.
Yes, exactly. Great job, Mush. Perfect. It's Rock Sadaka. Okay, so okay, now okay. The other thing that I want to show you on here is they also kind of add an extra line to it, or an extra Hebrew word. So we have kav, right? So kav, draw a kav, which means line. Okay. Okay. And look to see if there is a rock. Okay. And rock means what? Can anyone see right here where it says rock means?
Only.
Only. So we have rock. Okay. Havdalah. So that means what? If we were translating this, we have rock Havdalah. What does that mean?
Only Havdalah?
Yeah, it actually means only Havdalah. So when you will see this mostly, you'll see Rav Hamim. Okay, so we're mostly talking about only God or only this person or only, whatever. We normally don't say anything like, okay, Rock Sadaka, like only Sadaka. We may say only Sadaka. You only give Sadaka on Shabbat. Okay. So we wouldn't say that because that'd actually be opposite of what we'd say. But I'm just saying you see it more in prayers when you're talking about only God or only God's blessing, or Sarah only had one child or something. So there's many different ways to say only, but you'll see it mostly in the context of Rav, like Rachamim, stuff like that. It's usually in context with everything. Okay. Did anyone have any questions? Although I just turned the page on you. Oh. Is everyone else set? Okay. I think this is the next one. How are we doing for time? Okay. I think this is it. Okay. So do you think we need all the practice, or do you think we can jump down towards the middle of the page?
Let's jump.
Okay, you want to try to jump? Okay, so let's try this. Someone do line 4.
Sabah,
Yep, keep going.
Sabar,
Yep,
Qatar,
yep,
Savat,
yep,
Batal,
yep.
Matzah.
Matzah. Perfect. Okay, Tov Mayod. Okay, next line. Someone try the next line.
Matzat.
Perfect.
Kasat.
Yep.
Kazar. No, Kazam.
Just check that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Kazav.
Perfect. Great.
Matzav.
Yep.
Tatzar. This would be Tatzav. Tatzav.
This ha tsav, right? Tsav.
Tatzav.
Yep.
And Alzar.
Okay. So we have tsar. Perfect. Okay. Now remember, I don't know if I taught you. I thought I did. I get confused a little today. Whenever you see a hey and an aleph in the beginning of a word, 99.9% of times, it means what? Does anyone know what that hey means? The hey and the aleph? The. Exactly. So when you're looking on how to split a word, so you're like, oh, is it ha tsav or ha tsav? If you have that hey in the front, that's pretty much a symbol, a syllable. So ha tsav, especially if you see consonant, vowel, consonant. So good job, Donald. Okay, who's going to try line 6?
I'll try it.
Okay.
Matzah,
Okay.
Salah,
Uh-huh.
Samad,
Correct.
Samad.
Yep.
Matzah,
Yep.
Ta,
Yes. Atsta. Okay.
Tama.
Yeah. Sama. Perfect. Okay. Line 7.
Sorry, Mickey.
That's so funny. Okay. Veratza,
Yes.
Veatzar,
Perfect.
Zaram, Zarunta? No, Zaram. Uh-oh. I think
Yeah.
I need help with this one.
Okay. And it's not as complicated as you think. So let's go back to this one. Do the next 2, Mickey.
I want to go back though. Zaramet? No, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. Do the next 2, and then I'm going to go back with you, and you're going to do that one. So do these.
Zavar.
Zav- Okay.
Zavar?
Savar.
Yeah, Zavar.
Yep.
Zavar. Zavach.
Yes. Zava. Okay. Now, Mickey, just think about this. Okay. You always have to have somewhere in the middle a consonant, vowel, consonant. So thinking of that and knowing that this book is tricky and they're giving us not complete words, how would you break up this word again to try to tackle it?
Zaram. Would that be wrong? Or
Okay. So you're right here. So it'd be za first, right? Because you have a consonant and a vowel, and that would be sitting out in the front because the next one would be a consonant, vowel, consonant, right? By the shabas.
Yes.
So that's a complete syllable. So
it would be Zara Mayet.
okay. So,
No.
okay, you were closer when you first started, so let's go back. Okay, that's okay. It would be sa, okay, because we have our consonant and our vowel, so we have sa, okay. Stop doing that, Madison. Okay, now we know we have the shabbat here, so we always have to back up and figure before the shabbat, what is our consonant, vowel, consonant? Because remember, that's our syllable breaker. So we know that whatever syllable comes next, right, we have to have a complete consonant, vowel, consonant before that, okay? So you have your sa, and then you have your what next?
Ram.
Yep. And then now we've got this weird thing next. And so you're almost like you're starting at the very beginning of a word again. So it'd be sa, ram, and then what would you do?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's in the shavas don't come to the end. It's in the middle of a word. So it would be just Saramta. So I would probably pay you $50 if you could find this someplace for real. So so
I
this
don't
is,
want to do that one again.
that's right. So you had a tricky one, but it was a good learning one. Because you know that you're not going to end a word with a what?
With a vowel. No.
You're not, no, you can end it with a vowel, but you're never going to end a word with a what? What type of a vowel? The shava. The shava. The shava can begin a word. It can be in the middle of the word, but it's not going to be in the end of a word. Okay. If it is, that means it's not a complete word. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody take one of the words on 8 and let's power through that then.
Tzedakah.
Perfect. Who's next?
Utsarta.
Yeah, you did a great job on that one. Okay.
Mazat. Let's see. Mazato.
Mazata. Yeah, you had it and then you doubted yourself, Donald. You had it and then you're like, wait a minute. But absolutely, the aleph is silent. So it's just kind of there. So we just kind of power through. But the reason why it's there, if you guys look at the end, the reason why it's there is because technically aleph is what? A vowel or a consonant?
A vowel.
Nope. Technically,
It's a
it's a
it's a
consonant.
consonant. Yeah.
Yes. So we have to have the aleph there because we would not be able to finish the word if we didn't have a vowel, a consonant, vowel, consonant, right? So they had to put it there. So, and this is the strange one. I understand it's strange. So, but you did it right. Okay, next one.
Sadak,
So sadak, right? Ta, perfect. Okay.
Sadaka,
Sadaka, exactly. Okay. So does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Okay. And so just really small, you realize, so you learn 2 more words, hopefully. You see matzah in here and you see sadaka in here, okay? And the reason, just a really quick reason while I'm going to something else, is the fact that you know, it justice, when you give charity or tzedakah to people, it also gives justice to people. Think about it. It equalizes things. And that's kind of how tzedakah came out of justice. Okay, so we are going to, okay, we're going to go to 8. So you guys ready to go to chapter 8? There's one more page that I skipped, but it was a small exercise page. So we're going to go to 8. We're doing okay for time. We have 15 minutes, right? Okay. So,
You have 18 minutes.
okay, good.
It's 7:42.
Okay, great. And that's too much. Come on. Yeah, I'll be, if I feel good next week, I should be back to the normal computer, guys. This is my laptop. Okay. Okay. So what about this word? And can you see it okay, or am I too high? There we go. Let's try this word.
Torat.
Okay. No. So let's try the first.
Okay. It's
Mitzvah.
mitzvah.
Mitzvah. Yeah, mitzvah. So we know, do we know all what a mitzvah is? A mitzvah is a what?
Yeah. It says commandment.
It's a commandment. When we think of a mitzvah, when we say, "Oh, I held the door open for you," I did a mitzvah today. I did a mitzvah because I held doors open for old people, right? Or
A good deed.
a good deed, exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. So, okay, now we have some kind of. Sorry, guys, struggling here. Okay, we have a couple little things we need to talk about. Okay, we have now added our first E vowel. We have a hirik, okay? And we have what we call a hirik yod, okay? Because this is the letter yod up here, okay? I don't know if you remember when I was explaining vowels. If you look at the dot underneath you and you're sitting in a chair and a mouse comes under a chair, you're probably going to say E, right? Or eek if you're a 1950s cartoon person. Okay. And then the hirik yod, okay, is what we refer to as a diphthong. Okay. And we're going to talk about diphthongs later on and get into them more. But just so you know, it either lengthens the E or it changes the E sound just a little bit. And I'm going to leave it at that until I can show you a good example so it makes more sense, okay? But just so you know, you will see the hirik, okay, right here, a dot, a single dot, or you're going to see the hirik yod, okay? So technically, this together is the vowel, the hirik followed by a yod. And I will show you examples to say, how do you know, Madison, if this is a hirik and or a hirik yod? Okay, I will show you examples. Okay, but
There's one down there. It's line 2.
yep. So now we're going to here. Let me just see if I can just go this way. Okay, so line 2. Okay. Well, okay, if we did line 1, we know it's simple, right? Be, te, me, he, ve, e, right? That's easy. Okay. And line 2, we have the hirik yod. Okay. And we have, anyone want to take a shot at what they think it would be like? Anyone want to take a guess?
E?
Day.
Yeah, who said day?
I did.
Okay. So it could be like it makes like a y sound. So day in this case, right? Because we have the E and the Y. So it's I don't know how to explain it. Okay. And then we have our simple ones again, right? Are just our single hirik, which is the E, right? Ki or he, re. And then let's try this.
They.
Hey.
They.
This
Okay.
is they, and then and then try the hirik yod again.
K.
Okay. It'd be like K. Yep. Or K. And then what do we
Okay.
have here?
Lay.
Okay. So this one, I want to tell you lay is absolutely right, except for I want to tell you sometimes, I don't know if it's because of the way they pronounce it or if there's some others. I'm still trying to figure out this one. Sometimes you'll get a li out of this. The L hirik yod will get a li. And when I figure out how to explain it better to you, when it's that way, I will tell you. The rules seem hard and fast, and I don't know if it's just because we've been saying it a certain way, a certain time, or I just haven't learned that piece of grammar to be able to explain when it's more of a day and when it's more of a li. Okay, does that make sense? I know it doesn't make sense because I don't have a rule for you, but it can be more of a day or it can be more of a li. Okay.
Are you saying day, like Lay or Day?
Okay, no, this one right here. On this one, I was saying lay, like when you go to Hawaii, you put on a lay,
Yeah. So it's either lay or lay
Or Lee.
or lee.
sometimes
Lee.
I've heard it Lee in this case, especially
it.
with the Lamed. When we do the day, I mostly hear when there's a dalit, I mostly hear it day like in D-E-Y or D-A-Y, like that kind of pronunciation. And I'm trying, and when I figure out the grammar to help us figure that out, I will let you know. Most of the time, you will know what the sound is by what the word is, honestly. And this is how I was taught. You know which way it is because when you say the word, you can't say it any other way.
Mm.
like
Okay.
but there is a grammar. I learned that there is a specific grammar piece, but I have a feeling it's going to be really complicated, guys. So we'll try to do it without it until we can't anymore, and then I will try to look it up again. Okay.
Okay.
So what would we have here
Dale,
on line? Oh, I'm sorry, on line 3.
line 3.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah. And then
like in Ove.
correct, like in oive, absolutely. And then someone do the next one.
May,
Hey.
Yep. And then keep going.
Lay.
Lee or lay. Yep.
Lay.
And then go ahead.
K,
Okay.
Yep. Key or K. Kale. K. And then what do we have?
Bay,
Okay.
Okay. And then
A.
this is your straight A. So that is your straight A. Okay. So let's see. Let's go. Okay. So I want to get back to this. You know what? I'm going to skip the rest of this just because I want to check something out while they're teaching it before I go back. Sorry. Let's go to there. Yeah, it's the next page, 35. The fringes, word power. Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta see. Reading practice. Is that it? No, Mom.
yes, reading.
Right there. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you with this. Okay, so let's go to the bottom. Okay, so we're going to skip some words just because I want you to learn this and then we can practice reading more. Okay, so right over here, okay, we have a word, okay, and the hirik yod. So I'm going to show you an example. Okay, does anyone want to give a
So
shot?
that would be tzitzit.
Yeah, seat. So,
Tzitzit.
yep. So when you say
It's not
this,
say, it's seat.
that's what I'm getting at. So
Tzitzit, yeah.
exactly. So this is the thing. So I'm trying to figure out a way to explain the hirik yod, when it becomes more of a diphthong and when it becomes what type of letter. And I have to tell you, this is a fault of mine not being able to teach this very well, because when I have taught children, we normally just, in this case, say, okay, this is the way you say this word. Okay. And in my new college class that, like I said, the college class I've been taking on this, they're actually teaching me this is how you know when you say it this way and how when you say it this way, because there's a grammatical, like it could be the call perfect, whatever. And my brain is not ready to get into that tonight. I hope you guys don't mind. So, but you see what I'm saying? So it's seat, right? Or it's seat if you say it fast. And so we have this longer E here. So you're not really getting the diphthong where it changes it a little bit. You're just getting the more of the hirik yod, just the straight seat. So, and then down here, what do we have? What's the next word down here?
Mitzvah.
Mitzvah. Exactly. So that's the straight hirik with just the dot, right? Okay. And let's try this one.
Kaddish.
Okay. Kaddish. Exactly. So Kaddish right there. Now, all these words right here are words that you're going to see in your Siddur and you're going to see them in the Torah. So you're now learning even more words. So when you're in your book, you will see these words. Okay. All right. Now we have a couple more words right here, which you should recognize. Someone want to try them?
Sure, bar mitzvah.
Yeah. And then the second one is what?
Bat mitzvah.
Bat mitzvah. So bar, does anyone know what bar means?
Boy.
Boy.
Correct. Bar is boy and bat is what?
Girl.
Okay. And now we have a simple one right here. Let's read this word right here.
Hatikva.
Yes, hatikva. Now, when you break this word down, okay, does anyone know what part means what? There's two words put together to make hatikva.
The.
Correct?
Tikva.
And
Is that
then
one
So
hope?
it'd be the national anthem, right?
Yeah. The and Tikva is, I think Ted said it.
Hope.
Hope. Yeah. So my daughter's Hebrew name is Tikva, one of them. And so her name means hope. But when we're talking about Ha Tikva, we're talking about the hope. And it also happens to be Israel's national anthem. So, and that's a straight Hirik. Okay. And then
When you,
go ahead.
sorry, when you use the, in that particular case, is Hatikva, so it's the hope or the national anthem, the hope. But I know that when I write in English, if I'm referring to something that's pretty generic, I would never precede it with a definite article like the. For example, if I were to say, I'm going to hospital, I wouldn't say I'm going to the hospital unless it's the only hospital in the world.
Right.
Um,
Or it's
I would
us.
just say, so it's like you use that only when it's a singular thing. And is that the same in Hebrew
And it is
by
mostly
having the?
it is mostly the same in Hebrew. There is a little bit different, but mostly the same. For instance, in your example, if you said in English, we wouldn't say we're going to the hospital, and we meant unless we meant the only hospital, or we'd say we're going to the hospital, maybe, and we mean Walter Reed because that's the biggest military hospital in the area, right? You're right. So the one other thing that Hebrew grammar does with this the, is they use it as an emphasis. So sometimes you'll see kind of in the case when we're trying to pick out something that's a little bit more important than something else, we'll use the ha in front of it just the same way. So it's used as a way to tell where the action's happening in the sentence and who we're talking about. If we're talking about the hospital is the thing we're talking about in the sentence, we'll use it that way. We'll use it as an emphasis to mean just, okay, pay attention. This is Ha Tikva. This is the big hope, not just any hope, but the big hope. So you're right. So yeah, it's pretty much the same in English versus Hebrew in that sense. So
I must speak English incorrectly because I say I'm taking Mike to the hospital, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to Virginia Hospital Center. I could be taking him anywhere.
okay.
Or I'm taking Mike to the ER. I could be going to the Inova Healthplex. I could be going to Fairfax. I could be going to Alexandria. Or I could go to Virginia Hospital Center.
Well, what you
I
sorry, go ahead.
spent too many years in England, so I
Yeah.
was always getting
Yeah, they don't
corrected.
use those, do they?
So the other thing is you have to realize when you say, okay, I am going to the hospital, and this will be a grammar thing we get into later as we get going, is where your subject is versus where your thing. So hospital isn't the real main part of the subject. I am going, or I am taking Mike to the hospital. Either I or Mike are going to be your main things. Whereas when you're talking about the hospital, okay, who, depending on how you phrase your sentence, who is your main subject, who's your predicate, so unfortunately my brain can't do grammar tonight, but yes, saying I'm going to the hospital is just a general statement, but really the subject is more about you, and you're going where you're going to the hospital. Okay. So in Hebrew too, when they emphasize things, because the word order is different, you could have hospital, I am, and then going. Do you know what I mean? So when ha, you're saying the hospital, meaning, listen, hospital is a main, you got, pay attention. There's something about this hospital that you need to know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the part of the main. Yeah, exactly. And so, so that's something, that's why for two reasons, I'm pointing out the ha's for you now. One, because it helps you figure out the syllable breaking, and that's important. Because otherwise, if we're saying ha, ti, va, We wouldn't quite get it right. And the thing I wanted to point out when Donald was saying Hatikva, he had his accent in the perfect spot. I don't even know if he noticed he did it. So it's Hatikva. He did it exactly right. And that's why I'm trying to point out where the syllables are and where the shavas and the accents are so that you can say your words appropriately. And he did it perfectly. Hatikva. So the
I wanted
accent,
to ask you. No, sorry.
so the accent was exactly on that shava. So that K sound is more highlighted. Instead of
Question I had.
yeah.
Remember we had an example of one word that had 3 consonants in a row. And I know one word is mitzvotov. It's like mitzvot.
Oh, bemitzvotav.
Yeah, mitzvot. So it's it's a M-I-Z-Z.
Right. Right. So
It's in the Shema. So it's the like third word from the end of the first paragraph.
okay. Okay. So I'll have to pull that up and look again. But yeah, and so it's where you put your stuff at and where you put your accents are. And that's why I'm trying to let you know, like we're learning pretty soon. I think by the time we're done with this book, you're going to learn the ma or the M in the beginning, and we'll have more B's in the beginning and L's. So there's more of those, what we're calling prefixes. And there are more suffixes. So in this book, though, we're really just learning some of the common prefixes. And you have learned 2 so far. Today, you've learned ha in the past. And then now you've learned, do you know remember the other one we talked about earlier today? It's one letter that means and.
Huh?
V. Yeah. So whenever you see that V in front, that's your first syllable 9 times out of 10. Okay. Especially if it has like a shva underneath, or if it's got a V and you see an accent or like a apostrophe looking thing after it, if it's in translit. So, or just a standing V. Like I offhand I can only think of via hafta right now, but that V in front, remember, means and. So if you were ever going in the Bible or like the Torah, and you were, remember when they have this person begot this person and this person and this person and this person, you see a lot of V and V, because it just means and. So, so too, you knew ha and and you're going to learn more as we go. Okay. So, okay. So let me just see if there's one more thing. Okay. So, no, okay. This is because we're at our time, I think, right? So, for some reason, guys, my computer says 7:18. I have no idea why. Let me stop here. Okay. Here we go. Let me stop recording first. Okay, stop recording. There we go.